Dylan Battistini's third win of the season has him in the points lead as the series heads to the road course at Watkins Glen. Drivers will be put to the test both physically and mentally as they face two races in the same day for the first time in series history. The Watkins Glen Twin 100s are next. 5/10,000ths of a second.
3 wide into one.
Wheel to wheel all the way through the corner.
Drag race to the finish. It is dead even.
We reached the halfway point of the 2008 Firestone Indy Lights season here at historic Watkins Glen. Hi everyone, I'm Bob Jenkins along with Robbie Buell in a very unusual situation this weekend. Two 100-mile races, but they're separated only by about 90 minutes. How does that change the strategy?
Well, this is the first time these drivers have ever been put to this task, to have two 100-mile races in one day. Obviously, there's a physical aspect to that, but more importantly, how aggressive do these guys want to be in the first race? In the first race, you got to take advantage of what happens in front of you, but you don't want to jeopardize damaging your race car and not being able to be out there for the second race. You got to remember the big picture. There's a championship points battle around, and you want to be there at the end of this thing of both events. Mike King is standing by with a pole sitter for our first race.
Well, it hasn't taken Frank Pereira long to make a name for himself in this series. Frank, only your second start here in the Firestone Indy Lights Series. What do you expect today here at Watkins Glen?
I expect for sure to have a double win today. We have two races, and it's really important for me. It's my second race, and like I said, I was in IndyCar before, and for a reason sponsor from the team, I had to stop, So I stopped 2.5 months final ride, and now I'm back in series who can give me the experience and everything to be back in IndyCar. So I will give the chance for Guthrie to win and for my side to show that I need to be back as soon as possible there.
Seems a little bit like old times. You're starting next to Rafa Matos, who you battled last year in the Atlantics.
Yeah, no, it's very exciting. We are back together in the top, and it was already exciting yesterday. Fight for the pole, and so it's going to be a tough day, but it's very exciting. That's why we do that.
Frank Pereira, he's our pole sitter for Corning Duel #1. Bob?
All right, thank you, Mike. Well, officially, this race has started because we are starting under caution. We're expected to go green this coming lap, and we are under caution because of actually two little incidents. This is James Davison, who stopped in the racetrack and is getting a tow back to the pit area. And then the other incident occurred in another part of the racetrack. The 54 car of Matt Lee spun, as you can see there at the top of your screen, and they had to get his car righted and restarted. Now Davison is a lap down, and he in fact is out of his race car, so he's going to take a hit in the points because he came into this race 14th in the point standings. Okay, we'll show you the starting grid as we near the green flag. That'll be at the top of your screen as Robbie Buell will run down the keys to this race.
Well, the first key to this race is what kind of downforce level do you want to have in the car? These long straightaways here, that's the best opportunity to pass as you get to the end of them. So you want to have straight line speed, but you got to have enough downforce to get through the corners. A tough balancing act. From there, I think the next thing is handling. In some of these higher speed corners, you got to have a well-balanced car that sets up onto the straightaway, especially through turn 10 and 11 that lead on the front straight. From there, restarts. That's an opportunity. It bunches the field back up. That's when you can gain spots.
And as you look at the starting lineup, you will notice that way back in row number 9, starting 17th and 18th, the two Panther cars, Dylan Battistini, the points leader, will start in the 17th position as the cars come off of turn 11, get the green flag, and the first of two 100-milers here at Watkins Glen is underway, and they're 3 wide as they head into turn number 1.
And it looks like everybody's sorting themselves out so you get through turn 1 and everybody is through cleanly, led by Pereira.
Frank Pereira, in only his second race in the Firestone Indy Lights Series, has the lead. Rafael Matos is right on his rear wing as the cars make their way onto the backstretch.
And this is the best passing zone. Here are 3 wide as you're going into the bus stop right there. Down the inside is Matos. He's got it done. Very fast switchbacks here, second or third gear.
Pereira drops from the lead back to third position as Richard Antonucci came into second, but it is Rafael Matos who has the lead here as we are heading toward the boot now. And Pereira is spinning and into the tires.
You know, if he got a little bit up on the high side there, you can see the marbles on the racetrack, just see the little bit of debris. So if he got a little bit high as he came in there on the right side of the car, you just don't have the grip. And remember, we're not even, halfway through that first lap. Still building some tire temperature and pressure.
And another incident, that's Bobby Wilson up the right of your screen. He's made contact with some car or some object.
Yeah, it must be. It's got to be another car. Yeah, over on our left side of the screen there is. Let's take a look at that.
This is the Pereira incident as that car makes contact with the tire barrier.
And he wasn't on the high side of the racetrack. He just spun in the line there, getting in.
From onboard Jeff Simmons' car, you see Frank taking himself out of the race. And so the pole sitter is eliminated here in the early going. Now let's take another look. There it is.
Again, remember, this is a double race day, double points. He knows where he's going to start for that next race, towards the back.
There was contact between Bobby Wilson and somebody whose car is over there on the left of the screen, and we don't have an indication of who it was.
J.R. Hildebrand right there.
Wow.
25, looking on board from Jeff Simmons. So that's the initial cause of it, and then obviously Bobby Wilson came into it.
And the car of Bobby Wilson is badly damaged. Back in a moment to Watkins Glen. The Firestone Indy Lights Series on ESPN2 is brought to you by Firestone, the first name in Indy racing. 6 laps completed and just about to go back to green flag racing. Already, James Davison, Bobby Wilson, Frank Pereira, and J.R. Hildebrand are eliminated from competition. Here's the green flag, and we go back to competition. That is Rafael Matos leading Richard Antonucci down into turn number 1. Let's go down to the pit area and Mike King, who's with Michael Andretti.
Yeah, Michael Andretti here watching the big screen, watching his driver, Rafa Matos, out in front. Heck of a move for him to take the lead going into the bus stop there on that opening lap, Michael.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, I think, at this place. You're going to have to get quick starts and restarts, and he did a good one, but so did Antonucci, so it's going to be a dogfight, it looks like. So.
Opportunity here to gain a lot of points on this day.
Well, we hope. Unfortunately, Antonucci's running second, so he's one of the tough ones that have a lot of points. But other than that, all we can do is what we can do, and Rafa can win here and win later on. We'll be happy.
Yeah, that's Michael Andretti, one of the owners of Andretti Green AFS Racing. He's watching the big screen here. It's his guy, Rafa Matos, out in front. Bobby started the day 4th in points, but he does have an opportunity to make a bit of a move, particularly if there's a problem for Antonucci later on.
Watching some good racing going on here back in the field. Dylan Battistini and Andrew Prindeville running side by side and nose to tail as Matos continues to lead Richard Antonucci.
And when you look with these guys, both of these guys have won races in the Indy Lights Series. They're very strong, very competitive drivers, very smart drivers when it comes to road course racing. So they're just going to size each other up. Hopefully they'll stay close and we'll see a battle from them all day long here.
Jeff Simmons is running in 3rd position. Let's go on board and have Robbie take us around this very historic 3.4-mile racetrack.
Fast racetrack. It just got twisty bends. Here we're coming along the front straightaway all the way up to 5th gear. He's going to go down to either 3rd or 2nd gear. This is probably the most crucial turn on the track because how you accelerate off of turn 1 sets you up for the bus stop, which is the best passing zone. He's up through the gears now, 4th gear. He's got the little S's, they call them. You're actually going uphill a whole bunch there. You don't get a sense of it. Onto this back straightaway. He's in top gear, 6th gear. This is the best passing zone. This is where we saw Rafa pass for the lead. All the way down to 3rd gear here, 165 miles an hour. Use the curbing. Bam, you can really see him get up on it. Now, up to 3rd gear. This is flat out as you come here through turn 5. Well, a little bit of breathe, he gave it there. Up to 4th gear. Back to 3rd. Fast left-hand corner through here. Probably 80-plus miles an hour accelerating. This is the boot. This is what they call the boot. That was the laces. This is the toe, also known as turn 7. Down to 2nd gear. Again, this is very much uphill. You can kind of get a sense of it looking on board. But the elevation change as you go down into the boot here is really incredible. All the way up to 4th gear, down to 2nd gear, turn 8. This is the heel of the boot. And rejoining here in turn 9, this is where the NASCAR course comes across. Right there is where you can see the NASCAR course come across. Accelerating here into turn 11. This is where the high-speed handling, the balance, because this is all in 4th gear, a little bit of a lift, but very close to flat out. You know, having a well-balanced car through here, through this fast stuff is important. And Jeff knows what he's doing around here. That's a fact.
2.5 seconds behind Richard Antonucci. Jeff Simmons in 3rd position. That's Anna Beatrice and the 15 car of Sherman of Dylan Battistini, our points leader, has crashed.
And that is that high-speed transition, having a balancer there, 4th gear, fast stuff. Here we'll look at a replay. He's probably going to get up on the curbing. Oh, no, he got a little crossed up as he came to turn 10, hooked back across the track, hardened the barrier. But that actually, I thought he probably got up on that white curbing, but no, the car had a little twitch before that. He tried to correct it, used up some track.
And so the points leader is out of this first race. The 3rd place car driver in the points is also out of competition, so the points are definitely going to change as a result of this race, which of course will affect the 2nd race. Well, Jeff Simmons has 7 career wins in the Firestone Indy Lights Series, but things didn't go as planned once he reached the IndyCar Series. He's hoping for another shot at IndyCars and redemption.
And here comes Simmons out of turn 4. Simmons for the end of the race. Awesome job.
The 17 ethanol machine of Jeff Simmons made contact with the outside wall.
Jeff Simmons received the call from Rahal Letterman Racing that he had been replaced in the 17 car.
Getting a phone call when you're at the racetrack for the next race, telling you that you're not going to be driving is certainly nothing. It's not anything that any driver would ever want to have. So it was very tough to take at the time. But what it really did was, give me that passion and fire to say, well, you know what, this isn't going to be the end. I'm going to come back and be stronger. It was very disappointing the way that it all came about. I never really got to kind of give my input on things, and I was kind of given the impression that I would have that opportunity. I think that there was maybe a short period where it's like, well, you think, oh, now everybody's going to have a bad opinion of you because you were let go by a team. But I think that a lot of people have seen how things really went about, and I think that I still have a good reputation, and I'm hoping to make that stronger. I mean, if you're not in a good position and don't have the right environment for you, then it's hard to show what you're capable of. So, I'm really trying to find where that best fit would be for me and try to get a good team around me, and hopefully I'll be able to get back in the IndyCars and have that environment where I can succeed.
Mark Moore of Team Moore Racing watching as his 2 cars run in the top 5. Jeff Simmons right now running 3rd. Mark, this has been a convoluted start to the Corning duels.
Yes, it has. I think the track was fine. The conditions were very good out there right now. We just had some people trying to be too aggressive too early. We've all reminded our drivers that they got to finish this race if they want to start the 2nd one. And some guys that are way up in the points right now are already struggling.
Any close calls for Jeff up to this point?
No. I think the one thing is we had to let our tire pressures come up a little bit, and both cars seem to be coming to them. The problem right now is the race is being shortened quite a bit because it'll be a time event. I think we're probably already looking at the race maybe being 7 to 8 laps shorter than expected.
Okay, so Team Moore Racing looking pretty good right now as Jeff Simmons run 3rd. Pablo Donoso currently runs 5th.
All right, thanks, Mike. Getting set to go back to racing once again. It's been a crash fest so far. Rafael Matos has the lead as they come out of turn number 11, take the green flag. Richard Antonucci is 2nd. There's Simmons. There's Anna Beatrice and Pablo Donoso.
Well, you talk about all the crashes that we've had, with this having 200-mile races almost back-to-back, you would think the mindset is, hey, I've got to be a little bit more cautious. Shouldn't want to be aggressive, but, that's probably why we love the sport. You never know what's going to happen. You can script whatever you want in your mind and have a plan, but when the green flag falls, it's a different ball.
Dylan Battistini, the points leader, is sidelined. Let's go down to Mike King.
With Panther Racing owner John Barnes. John, in this game, you got to take the sour with the sweet, and Dylan has certainly had a great season, but this day is going to be kind of costly here at the track.
Well, it is, but I mean, everybody so far in this deal has had troubles. You know, all the leaders in the boys championship at one time or another. Today's our day. You know, we'll bounce back.
Had Dylan reported any problems with the car at all?
I don't listen to radio, so I couldn't tell you.
Any idea of whether or not it can be fixed for race number 2, because it looks like there's a lot of damage?
You know, they'll see. The car goes back to the garage right now. They're taking it back. Take a look at it and see what we can do.
That's John Barnes. He's the owner of Panther Racing.
Car looked pretty damaged, and I'm not sure that they can get it repaired, but we will see. There's Logan Gomez, car number 23. He's running right behind Pablo Donoso. Logan Gomez is in 6th position. That's Ari Lyondike Jr. running in 7th. Teammate to Rafael Matos, who is the leader of the race. There's Ari, who was the pole sitter and led the most laps at Iowa, but unfortunately did not record his first victory.
Yeah, that was a little painful for Ari there. You had Logan Gomez in that bright yellow car, just looking down the inside of Pablo Donoso. He's got a little bit of a run on him. Again, this is flat out up through these hills. The S is you want to let the car run as free as possible. You don't want to bind it up. And look at there, he's right on the tail. That is, not giving him much room. But, you know, Pablo didn't necessarily move over. He protected that line, so that really wasn't considered blocking. He came off of that turn and held that inside line. He obviously saw that Logan was right on his tail and said, I better be creative on the front end here.
Had to back out and lost a couple of car lengths, but he's in pursuit once again, and Lyondike is also right there behind Logan Gomez.
You know, we talked about one of the keys of this race is just aero package. So just in that bus stop area, you really have a good run. You're fast in a straight line, so you can pass somebody. Looking at Logan's car, I can't quite tell, but it looks as though he's got more downforce in his car, which is, you know, gives him more grip through the corners. And, you know, that may be a good combination for what the air temp is and what the track temp is right now. Because he's all over Pablo.
He sure is. Again, this is for 5th and 6th position. Lyondike back in 7th spot. Up front, it's still Rafael Matos, and he has extended his lead over Richard Antonucci. It's now more than a second.
Yeah, pretty quiet amongst the top 3 right now. They're just kind of biding their time. And, you know, we were scheduled for a 29-lap race. It looks like we're going to be a timed event here. We got a 1-hour window, and we got about 20 minutes left. So we're not going to do the full amount of laps, which sometimes changes the strategy. I mean, you can say that now, but in these sprint races, these guys got to drive as hard as you can from start to finish. So I don't know how it changes that strategy. They're just looking to the inside again. Gomez, as they're going into the bus stop, he wasn't close enough to do anything there.
This remains the best battle on the racetrack. Everybody else has enough separation between cars, but this is the best battle as Logan Gomez looks for an opportunity to take the 5th spot away from Pablo Donoso. And you saw just a moment ago the interval between 1st and 2nd, and there's also a pretty good interval between 2nd and 3rd as Jeff Simmons is 4.5 seconds behind 2nd place Antonucci. Here comes Matt Lee in car number 54. Mark Olson is there, number 8.
Johnny Reed in that red and white car looking for a way by. He's looking to the inside as you come into the heel. Look what he's alongside. Whoa! Took it off.
Slammed the door.
Lost a little momentum. He's going to have to regather and come for a strike wave.
Matt Lee, car number 54, making his debut in the Firestone Indy Lights Series. He's from New York State, and so performing in front of the hometown crowd. Right now running back in 16th position. Rafael Matos leads over Richard Antonucci, Jeff Simmons, Anna Beatrice, and Pablo Donoso. We'll be back to Watkins Glen in a moment. Welcome back to Watkins Glen, the first of 2 races for the Firestone Indy Lights Series today. Bob Jenkins, Robbie Buell, and Mike King along with you. There is our leader, Rafael Matos. Except for the first 2 laps, he has led all the way and now has has a 3.4-second advantage on Richard Antonucci. Antonucci runs second, Simmons third, Ana Beatriz fourth, and Pablo Donoso runs in the fifth position. This would be Rafa's second win of the year. He started on the pole and won the first race at St. Petersburg earlier today. Or earlier this year, I should say.
Yeah, right now he's got this race in hand, no question about that. We're panning back to the second place runner. There's Antonucci. Again, you know, I think when you look at Antonucci in second, you look at Simmons in third. Now these guys are going to say, okay, Rafa had us covered today. What are we going to do in this hour and a half so we're in a position to strike and do what we can to win this race?
On board with Jeff Simmons running in third. He's 9 seconds behind. Next time by, the cars will get the white flag, so we'll be a couple of laps short, maybe 1 lap short of the scheduled distance. It turns into a timed race, 1 hour, because of all the crashes that we have had. There is car number 6, driven by Daniel Harrington, who is running in 8th position. A good run for this young man who started back in 16th.
Yeah, driving for Michael Crawford, and Daniel first got a taste of these cars at Mid-Ohio last year, was very competitive, had some issues in qualifying where he started further back, but you know, talented young driver. Hopefully, you know, he'll keep able to put a program together to, you know, do more and more of these races. So it's good to see him out there running in Michael's car.
This is his first Firestone Indy Lights race of the year. He has previously competed 5 times in the series. Logan Gomez there, the 23 car, has been hounding Pablo Donoso almost all race long. And Ari Lyondike Jr. there in the red and yellow car is also running very close, but nobody has been able to gain any positions.
Yeah, and this has really been our best battle the last 10 laps on the track right here, as these guys just staying in touch. And look at Ari. That's just a quick move by Ari. He wasn't going to make the pass there. That's just the tease move.
Right.
You know, let me fill your mirror and maybe
little intimidation.
Yeah. Force you into a mistake, miss your breaking point. That's all that was. I hope it was.
The white flag comes out, 1 more lap to go. As we continue to watch this battle to see if positions do change here on the final lap. Again, Pablo Donoso in the yellow and green car is running in 5th position. Gomez is 6th, and Ari Lyondike Jr. is in 7th.
Which is that battle right there. 1, 2, 3.
Ana Beatriz there in the green and white car.
Yeah, kind of running by herself. She's kind of had a lonely race there in 4th place. And again, she'll go back and get with the Sam Schmidt guys, get with her teammates and say, okay, you know, Richard, what'd you learn running up there in 2nd place? What are you going to have to do to catch Rafa for this next event? And they'll all kind of compile their input and figure out what it is they got to do to be faster, whether it's trim the car out, maybe needs more downforce, maybe there's something in the tire pressure that just affects the handling in the high-speed corners here.
The thing we don't know at this point is, will they be able to get some cars that were crashed in this first race fixed in time for the second race, including the points leader Dylan Battistini. J.R. Hildebrand crashed. So did Bobby Wilson, who was 9th in points coming into this event. We're following around the leader, Rafael Matos, on his final lap.
Rafa, you know, he is definitely the real talent. He's won the Atlantic Championship, the Mazda Championship. So, you know, he just keeps honing his skills. He's got a great team there with Gary Peterson, AFS, and the Andretti Group. He's in the right place.
Rafa's also had some other top 10 finishes. There's the checkered flag. The race is over. Matos wins his 2nd of the year, and he is going to make a jump in the point standings. There is Richard Antonucci driving alongside, giving him the thumbs up. He's going to move to 3rd in the point standings. Matos is gaining a position. Right now, Dylan Battistini and the 15 of number 7 car, rather, of Richard Antonucci are tied for the points lead. The top 10, Rafael Matos, Richard Antonucci, Jeff Simmons, Ana Beatriz, and Pablo Donoso. Logan Gomez, Ari Lyondike Jr., Daniel Harrington, Cindy Alleman, and Johnny Reed complete the top 10. Let's get down to Mike King in the Firestone victory lane.
Rafa Matos back in victory lane for the first time in 3 months. Rafa, 3 months. It was April 5th the last time we talked to you here. Congratulations. Great move down there going into the bus stop there, that 3-wide move to get the lead.
Yeah, it was, you know, it's been a long time since I've been here in the victory lane, and I'm so glad for the AFS Andretti Green team. I knew we had a great car. We had a hiccup yesterday in the qualify, and I just knew the car would be great. I believe Frank ran more downforce than us, and we took advantage of that. And you know, Antonucci, who was pretty competitive during the race, I tried to take my time in the beginning of the race, save the tires just in case of another yellow, and it worked out pretty good. I was able to push hard in the end of the race and build up a comfortable gap. And you know, just thank you everyone in the AFS Andretti Green team, Gary Peterson, and you know, everyone that has been supporting us this year.
Second win of the season for Rafa Matos. Let's bring in Roger Bailey. Roger, the executive director of the Firestone Indy Lights Series. As you can see, he has the chips in his hand. He's going to put them in the bag. Rafa will now make the pull, and the number that comes out on the chip will determine if we invert any drivers or the number of drivers that will be inverted for the start of the second race. So Rafa Matos reaches in, and he pulls out a 6. So Rafa Matos will go off 6 in race number 2, the second Corning Duel. So Rafa Matos picks up a lot of points today, his second trip to victory lane, guys, in 2008.
And it also means, Mike, that Logan Gomez, who finished 6th in this race, will start on the pole in race number 2, for which we will be back in just a moment at beautiful Watkins Glen, New York.